What's up guys, in this video we're going to be swapping out the factory style wheels for some bigger batter wheels. Not bigger diameter wise, but I'll show you in a minute. Whenever we take some of the stock ones off, they are a pretty good amount wider. So obviously I got a wheel and tire package. I just kept the 19-inch wheel. I'll give you guys a close-up of these. So I did go ahead and go with a 19-inch wheel, so the same as the ones I already have on here. Again, it's just a wider wheel. So the ones that I have currently, they look okay, but they're just curb rashed. And in a previous video, I put some Plasti Dip on them, and that's been, I don't know, a couple years ago now, and it's just starting to kind of peel off and everything. Okay, I'm sad I even have to tell you guys this, but I'm interrupting the video because this is a couple days after I put my wheels and tires on, okay? So the first thing that I noticed was that when I took them out of the box, they were at about, not all of them, one of them was at 5 PSI, okay? Obviously that's way too low. So I added air to it thinking maybe they forgot to air it up all the way or something. So I add air to it, start driving it around, and then my tire pressure light comes back on, which obviously I programmed the TPMS sensors and they're all hooked up correctly. So I know it's not a faulty sensor or anything like that. So I knew that the culprit was more than likely the low tire that I got right out of the box. So it set overnight, and the next morning it was back down to about 5 PSI. So at this point, automatically I know that I have some kind of problem going on, some kind of leak somewhere. So it's a Saturday. I have to take time away from my day to go over and sit at a tire shop. It was like the only one that was open. Unfortunately, I don't have a tire machine, so I had to go to a tire shop. Ended up, they had to take the tire off, put the tire back on. They had to change the valve stem. And of course, like, I had to pay for the parts and for them to do that. Again, the tires that I ordered are from late model restoration. And I'm not telling you not to buy stuff from them. That's not what this is about. This is about just be very careful, check your stuff, because if I would have just thrown those on the car, especially if I hadn't have gotten the sensors, then I could have had some real problems. I could have been driving around and completely shredded the tire to nothing, maybe caused some damage to my car. So all I'm saying is just to consider this and just kind of keep it in mind, because again, thankfully there was no damage to anything else and everything was fine. But things could have happened, especially if I hadn't checked the tire pressure right off the bat, or if I didn't have sensors. It could have ended horribly. I don't know, I guess whenever you order a wheel and tire package, you just kind of expect it to be professionally mounted and installed and checked, you know what I mean? So anyways, that's kind of the most recent update with the tires and the wheels, just kind of as you're watching the video. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the car up. We're gonna pull one of the stock wheels off and then show you kind of a side-by-side comparison of the tread width that we're going with. All right, we're gonna pop this wheel off real fast. All right guys, so I'm gonna try my best here to show you guys a comparison. So side by side, you can see that this one's a little thicker or a little wider. And if you put them like this, I might have to give you an aerial shot here. Yeah, so as you can see here, we are pretty much flush across the front of that. And then on the back, this tire sticks out a good inch or so. So really from like, almost like this tread line and out is all going to be thicker tire on all four corners. Another thing you might notice is that it is like physically shorter, the wheel and tire combo together. And that's because they're like a lower profile tire. So that will lower the car slightly. I have had problems bottoming out in the past, not on normal ground, but you know, if you're going over a speed bump, it seems like every time I go over a speed bump, my exhaust mufflers will end up scraping. So that'll probably make the situation even worse, but we're gonna go ahead and mount all these up. Another thing real quick here is the tire tread is so much different. This is much meatier. It's a softer compound, so it's a softer tire, it'll be grippier, and of course the wheels obviously look really good. So let's go ahead, mount them on all four, and then see what this thing looks like. All right guys, so I got everything mounted and everything's looking really good. The wheels are all torqued down for this year of Mustang. It's supposed to be 100 foot-pounds. So I went across and did everything twice. It's better that than to lose your brand new wheels. Now the last thing is just to pretty much train the tire pressure monitoring system. So we're gonna go ahead and lower it back down, get in the car. There's some really weird sequence of things that you have to do to put your car in programming mode, but we're gonna figure that out when we get in the car. All right, so you have to put your car in programming mode, and I don't remember the sequence completely, but we're gonna try it. So I think it's key in, pedal down, on, off, on, off, on, release the pedal, off, on, off, on. That wasn't it. I'm gonna have to Google it. All right, so I'm on late model restoration, LMR, and I actually have the instructions pulled up this time. You put the key into the ignition and leave it in the off position. Press and release your brake pedal. Turn your key to the on position, then off, then on, then off, then on. Press and release, off, on, off, on, off, on. That didn't work either. And leave it in the off position. Press and release the brake pedal. Turn your key on, off, on, off, on, off, on. Press and release, off, on, off, on, off, on. Okay. Now, so you take this little sensor here and you hold it up to the sidewall and you hold it down. Then you go over to the passenger side front. Do the same thing on the valve stem. Passenger side rear, and then the driver's side rear. And it should say something about, yeah, so it says training complete on the dash. So now our TPMS sensors are all synced up. That way, if we have a flat or anything, it's actually going to tell us, because some of the other wheel and tire packages don't have the TPMS sensors in them. So you have to pay extra for them to install them. It was the same way on LMR. Basically, all you do is you buy a package of the sensors separate, and they go ahead and install everything for you and send you the programmer as well. And just to give you an idea of why I had to get new tires. So basically, this is the front tire, and I will show you the rear tire. I think I've done a little too many burnouts in this. No worries, we got new wheels and tires. No more curb rash, no more flaking. I mean, these are in pretty good shape. They're just flaking and peeling. And the Plasti Dip was more of like a temporary kind of get by, and that way if you were looking at it from far enough away, it would look good. And I mentioned that it was going to be just a temporary thing, and eventually we'd get some wheels and tires, and here we are. I searched everywhere for a wheel and tire package, and this just seemed to be what I was wanting. I wanted wider tires, a good tire that was actually going to hold a little bit of horsepower, because there's a future for this Mustang that this thing will eventually be getting a supercharger on it, and I promise you guys it's going to get some type of supercharger on it. So I have everything written down on a list, and the steps were the wheels and tires, then a coilover suspension of some type, where I actually have double adjustables on all four, That'll be coming first, and then there's going to be some headers going in this thing, some cams, and then officially everything will be ready for a supercharger. So my thinking is, rather than just getting a supercharger and then having zero traction, why not get something that you can actually hook up with and actually be able to experience that kind of horsepower? Other than that, there's a very, very exciting video coming within the next week, and I am super excited to show you guys because it is the project that I've been talking about getting in here. Everything's been finalized, and again, it's a customer's car, but we've already agreed that everything could be on YouTube here, and I am super excited because it's going to be a really cool project. Real quick, a little teaser. We are going to be doing a Willwood conversion on this beautiful Cutlass. So make sure you guys check out that video. That'll be the very next video that's posted. This is another customer's car. All right, guys, thank you again for watching. I'll put the link to the late model restoration kit that I bought and these wheels and everything, the exact package that I bought, down in the description. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.